Hello and welcome everyone. I am Sayan Ranu from IIT Delhi, and today I'll present our work on mining top K pairs of correlated subgraphs in a large network. This work is done jointly with Arnish Prateek and Akshit Goel from IIT Delhi and Arijit Khan from NTU, Singapore. So let us first try to understand what correlated subgraphs are. So in this slide, on the left-hand side, I present the structure of a known anti-cancer drug called Taxol. In this drug, three separate locations or three separate subgraphs are highlighted in color. Now, what are the subgraphs? On the right-hand side, we explicitly lay out these different subgraphs, but we see that these subgraphs are not of exactly the same structure. There is a difference, and the difference being that the exact location or the exact carbon atom to which the oxygen is getting attached to is different in these different occurrences. So therefore, frequent subgraph mining would not be able to capture patterns such as the one presented over here. However, we can clearly see that there is a correlation pattern. The correlation pattern being that this chain of 3 carbon and 1 hydrogen is very frequently located close to an oxygen atom. And this is what we call a correlated subgraph pair. In other words, a subgraph or two subgraphs that are very frequently located very close to each other in the overall graph. Now, correlated subgraphs are not unique to just chemical compounds. They also are often observed in other domains such as gene interaction network. So here what we show is are two different subgraph pairs mined from the gene interaction network of the yeast organism. These pairs are again not random occurrences, because once we identified these pairs, we talked to domain scientists and also reviewed literature from that particular domain. What we identified is that each of these pairs, they actually jointly co-regulate enzymatic activity in the gene interaction network. So in other words, to summarize, correlated subgraph pairs may point to important biological or chemical or other kind of functions from other domains and maybe of application to domain scientists. So let us try to define correlated subgraph pairs a little bit more formally. So the input here is a graph G, a network distance threshold H, which we use to define when do we call two subgraph pairs located close to each other. So H defines closeness, and K as the top K parameter. Our goal is to identify all pairs of subgraphs of the form A and B, such that whenever an instance, such as the instances of A and B very frequently are found within a distance of H. So why do we need to study this particular problem? The reason we are asking this is because a lot of work has been done in subgraph mining. So examples include frequent subgraph mining, discriminative subgraph mining, statistically significant subgraph mining, and representative subgraph mining. So why can't we use one of these existing works? Now, in terms of the challenges, the closest work to our problem is that of frequent subgraph mining. What is common between frequent subgraph mining and correlated subgraph mining is that both of them deal with an exponential search space. Why do we call it exponential? Because in a graph with n nodes, in the worst case, there could be 2 to the power n subgraphs, and we need to search within that 2 to the power n space, which is the worst case scenario. Now, to deal with this exponential search space, frequent subgraph mining, almost all the papers in this area, they rely on the downward closure property. The downward closure property says that if a particular subgraph A has frequency f, then all supergraphs of A can have a frequency of at most f. This means that if A is not frequent, then we can guarantee that none of the supergraphs of A would be frequent either. And this property is used aggressively to prune the search space. Unfortunately, in correlated subgraph mining, downward closure property is not true. In fact, we neither have downward closure nor upward closure property. Furthermore, correlated subgraph mining actually deals with a doubly exponential search space. The reason being that we need to compute the correlation between every pair of subgraph instances. And therefore, we need to deal with a huge computation cost and a large memory overhead, because storing the subgraph instances individually is something that is definitely not feasible. It's going to far exceed the memory capacity, the main memory capacity of most of our desktop machines. In fact, even powerful servers. So how do we overcome this challenge? Now, because of the time limitation, I won't be able to go into all the technical details, and I would highly encourage you to read our paper if you find this particular problem interesting. But I would just highlight some of the key contributions that we make. The first key contribution that we make is to come up with a novel data structure called replica. What does replica do? It solves the specific problem of storing and enumerating instances of all subgraphs. As I said, you cannot individually store all the subgraph instances. Too much memory is going to be consumed if you want to do that. So therefore, what replica does is it stores a structure which represents the union of each of these individual instances. As an example, here we show a data graph G and a subgraph pattern Q. Now, if you notice and spend some time, you will realize that this subgraph pattern Q has 8 different instances in this particular data graph G. So that means if you store them individually, you would be storing, let's say, 24 nodes, because 8 instances and we have 3 nodes per instance. And then there would be similar replication on the number of edges as well. However, with replica, what we do is the overlapping portions are stored exactly once. We don't store them individually for each different instance. And therefore, this leads to several advantages. One being the memory overhead being much lower. Second, it allows us to enumerate instances quickly. It allows us to quickly compute distances from instances of other subgraphs. And finally, it also allows us to generate parent candidates of a given subgraph pattern. So this actually leads to, in other words, it leads to both efficient computation as well as low memory overhead. Secondly, we also come up with a best first search, best first search algorithm for our problem. And the best first search algorithm relies on an intelligent upper bound on the maximum possible correlation count for any given subgraph pair. So how do we say we are actually effective? So we conducted experiments on 8 different data sets from different domains, such as biological domains, collaboration, social networks, web networks, and they are on very large graphs. The largest being Meme Tracker, that contains 96.6 million nodes and 418.2 million edges. So the first key result here is that even on the largest of the data sets, we finish within 15 minutes. That means it does not take exorbitant amount of time to mine correlated subgraphs. Second, the memory overhead is not very high. To give an example again, on Meme Tracker, which is the largest data set we used in our experiments, the memory consumption is around 50 gigabytes, which means that you can actually run them on just commodity desktop machines. You don't even need powerful servers to mine correlated subgraphs. Therefore, to summarize, so the key contributions are we design a novel problem of mining correlated subgraphs from a given single large graph. This problem has not been addressed before. We show that this particular the algorithm that we proposed is scalable and memory efficient by conducting experiments on very large data sets. And finally, we also highlight clear applications of correlated subgraph mining on biological networks, which we showed initially in the first few slides on the East gene interaction network. We showed application on chemical compounds, and some additional case studies are also there in the paper from social networks and collaboration networks. And with that, I would be happy to answer any further questions on the online forum in our dedicated time slot.